Welcome to Season 6 of ImVibes Podcast. Now here's your host, Eric Malazzi.
What? Oh, it's not Malazzi.
Anyway, here's Eric.
Welcome to ImVibes Podcast. This is the first episode of Season 6. We kind of added Season 5 and we didn't do anything much. We had Wilson on. I don't know, Liz, if you know who Wilson is. He was big in Fox News here in Charlotte. He was a big radio host.
Yeah.
I've been on that show many times for roller derby. I love Wilson.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to talk about that in a minute because I found that out, but I don't know your name when you were in a rollerblade girl. So hold on. We'll find out what your name was because I'm really curious. I couldn't find that. I found you were on rollerblader, roller girl, but I didn't know your name.
Total Liz Astor was my derby name.
It was what?
Total Liz Astor.
Oh, I like it. Okay. Were you a violent roller girl or were you a...
It's a full contact sport. Yeah. I mean,
know. Yeah.
I'm getting people out of town for sure. But I was actually more of the prey than the predator most of the time. I was the jammer. So.
Oh, okay.
When did you play? Because I had a bunch of friends and ex-partner of mine played roller derby, but it was a long
years. Yeah, 2000. I don't know, 10 to 18, something like that.
It might have been. This was around 2009, I think. So you might have known some of the people that I knew that did it.
Yeah,
Eric, that reminded me that I still have your...
Oh, yeah, there it is. There's the Wilson bobblehead. Yeah. If you guys haven't listened or watched that episode...
That was good.
That was a fun episode. Unfortunately, I asked Wilson if he would actually co-host the show with me, and he's actually moved out of the country. He moved to, Europe, so he's gone.
Good for him.
Yeah, he said, fuck this shit, I'm out, man. So yeah.
Well, he's from England anyway.
He is, yeah. If you listen to that episode, him and Jamie go at it about football. I'm sorry, I won't say soccer. I just said it, but football. It's a very fun episode. Anyways, this episode is we've been wanting to do. I know the documentary came out over the summer, back in August, or was it June or July? I know it was over the summer.
It was in August. We had that world premiere weekend. Yeah,
that was August. Yeah. So please welcome Liz McLaughlin and Jason Authors, the producer and director of How to Save a Milestone. The Milestone to me is near and dear to my heart, and of course to Charlotte, man. It's one of our few venues here in town that's still kicking, that still is the original building. They haven't torn it down yet, and I don't think they will. Milestone's going to live on forever. We thank you so much for making this documentary and putting the Milestone on the map, man. So I think a lot of people need to know about the Milestone. I feel like it's like the CBGBs of the South.
Yeah, it was funny. We were looking at some pictures on the internet of CBGB, and I had never went there, and it's almost like you could mistake it for the Milestone just from the pictures on the internet and the inside of it.
That place is. I've seen 1,000 bands there. There are bands that have played there, which we'll talk about later. That I wish I was there to see, Bad Brains and REM. I've never seen REM. I've seen Bad Brains. I haven't seen REM, but yeah.
There's a lot of folklore, I think, with the Milestone, too, because, for instance, the Nirvana show, if you listen to audio, maybe you hear a handful of people there, but, dozens of people have been like, oh, yeah, I was at that, or,
No, you weren't. You lying piece of shit, yeah.
I've had at least a few hundred people tell me that they were there.
I know two people that were at the Black Flag show.
Nice.
I know a few people who were.
Yeah. Jeff Clayton's one of them.
He has to prove it too.
Yeah,
he does. And Mike Thrower. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I just interject though? Whenever back in the day, people used to say it was the CBGBs of the South, but CBGB's opened in 1972, and it's not there anymore. And the Milestone opened in 1969. So CBGB's is kind of like the Milestone of the North.
Milestone of the North. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah.
I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2 years ago in October, and it's they have the awning outside from CBGB's, but it's hidden underneath the escalator. It's not even like out for. I mean, everyone can see it, but if you're not looking, you won't find it. And I was like, why is that down there? It should be up in front somewhere, man. They're kind of trying to hide it, but I was like, oh look, there's an awning from CBGB's, and my kids are like, what? Never mind. Anyway,
and you probably remember in the film, there's that scene in the Charlotte Museum of History, and it has all of these kind of artifacts from, music venues that have been lost. So the double door in chairs and a brick from Tremont and things like that. And, we asked, do you think the Milestone will be in there one day? And they just said, I hope not. I really hope not.
I hope not. Yeah. When you had on Penny and she was talking about Tremont and she started crying, I started crying because
it was hard to see. It was hard to see Penny cry.
Yeah. Penny, I used to work at Media Play, and she used to call us. And if you don't know what Media Play was, it was a music store / bookstore, whatever else. I mean, we saw the movies and everything. But she would call us and say, hey, should I book this band? How well do you guys sell their CDs? I'll never forget. She called me and said, hey, should I book the Insane Clown Posse? And I was like, yes, absolutely.
Benny told us this story that the promoters would drive around. I wish we could have put this in the film. That the promoters would drive around to the parking lots of shows to see how well the show was selling, to see if they should book the band next time.
Yes.
There's no like Spotify plays or likes. You would drive around and check the parking lot.
I used to work for a record label called Red Distributing, and they would send me in there with bands that were playing there to sell, like pass out their sample tapes to everybody. I mean, they would all end up on the floor around the trash can, but I was like, that's weird. I'm like, why did you guys don't know that, these guys opening for Danzig, it really isn't a good band to open for Danzig. And every Sam CD I give to somebody, they had me pass out Kiss stickers at a Dave Matthews concert. All the Kiss stickers were on the ground afterwards.
Yeah, maybe we need to focus that more. I was going to say that we had a really special screening recently in Wilmington, and Penny saw the film for the first time.
Oh.
And another special guest there. And it was amazing because I just like creepily went to the front, and was like watching Penny watch the movie. She was such a great interview and she's such a big part of the film. I actually did an analysis of the film and she actually says the most words in the film. But, just seeing her reaction to it was like, I don't know, one of those moments that makes it all worth it. She brought one of her old bandmates in the Blind Dates. And then
oh, really?
And then this woman named Lori came, who is she was in charge of Chris Raddock's estate. And so many
it was a very emotional screening.
We used in the film. You guys know about him, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So
I hate that that's the only one that I haven't seen yet. I would have loved to.
It was so great.
I would have loved to have been there.
Yeah, it was cute. A kid in the audience said he was working on opening a music venue in Boston. He was just visiting and randomly stumbled into this film screening, and he's going to name it The Lucky Penny now after meeting Penny.
Oh, sweet. Nice. That's awesome.
Oh, that's really nice.
He asked for her blessing and she was speechless, y'all.
Yeah, she
that's awesome.
Wow. I love Penny to death, man. I'm trying to get an episode with Penny and John Hayes on at the same time. Just talk about, Tremont, man. That was a spot. My first show there was I moved to Charlotte in '96. The first show I saw at Tremont was Guttermouth, The Descendants, Less Than Jake, And I think there was one more band on that bill.
Nice.
I walked in, I was like, yeah, this place is dope.
Dang.
This is cool. Yeah. Yeah.
The first show I ever went to was at Tremont when I was like 15 or something.
Wow.
14 or 15.
One of my last shows was there, or one of their last shows was Guar.
I was there. I was on that show.
I was wearing a wedding dress from Goodwill and crowd surfing. So maybe you saw me, but my contacts were actually turned like hot pink from all the fake blood.
Oh, wow.
It was like my last pair or something. So I was seeing like rose-colored glasses literally the next couple of days till I could get more.
Oh, man.
I went to Guar one time and was stained red at Tremont and went to school the next day and purposefully didn't take a shower. So that I looked terrible.
It was actually that show at Tremont. I came home and I fell asleep on the couch and I forgot, I had, you're not only red, but you're also green or blue, whatever's, other slime they want to use for jizz that night for the aliens. And I fell asleep on the couch and my wife came downstairs the next morning. And she's like, what the fuck oh my God. You need to go shower before the girls wake up because you got blood. What the hell is this blue shit all over you?
Hey, at least it wasn't sticky like Faygo. I never saw ICP, but it would have been a lot worse if it was sticky.
ICP shows, man. It's funny actually today. I mean, God damn it! Every episode we have, ICP comes up in some way, shape, or form.
You brought it up.
I did.
It's such a weird coincidence.
There's one common denominator.
Yeah, Faygo. Everybody saying
brings it up every single time.
You will smell like Diet Faygo root beer for a week after you go see ICP. It does not wash off. It's soaked in your skin for a week. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to Liz. Liz, former roller girl. You're from Roanoke, Virginia?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have been a part of NBC News for how long now?
Oh, I'm going to age myself. Like 15 years or something, 14 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And you've been nominated for multiple Emmys because of the work you've done with NBC News, right? And a bunch of other documentaries.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm very excited to have had a very busy career doing lots of things. And this was a passion project that was fun to embark on. My first though full-length documentary, so lots of learning.
So did you do the documentary for the toxic tap water and for was that Fayetteville and Wilmington area?
Yeah, that was kind of the main focus, but really it's households all over North Carolina, that have these chemicals in their water. And actually today that just a proposal to basically stop companies from polluting it just got withdrawn from the Trump administration. So I've been busy kind of covering all that.
Oh boy. Yeah. That sucks. And Jason, I've read that your band used to play the Milestone when you were in high school, right?
We did. We played there a few times. I was telling Andy this story that it was in the film, they called it the dark ages of the Milestone, where they would do kind of like Friday and Saturday shows. And I'm like 16 years old, I think, at the time. And we had to sell tickets. It was a pay-to-play show. They called them Ripple concerts. So they would hand us like a stack of 20 tickets. We'd sell them for $5 to our friends at school. And we would show up. And I don't remember meeting Bill, but I remember having to pay. It was like a pay-to-play type thing. But we were honestly just stoked to have a place to play.
Yeah. I have friends at work who are in bands and are like, one day we want to play the Milestone. I'm like, all you have to do is ask. Basically, I'm like, if there's a band playing and you fit the bill, you can probably open for them. So yeah.
It's straight. There's a lot of legislations that made it able to purchase alcohol on Sundays, but not being able to have alcohol on Sundays was the reason that they could have underage bands play at the Milestone.
Ah, gotcha.
We were whenever Neil kind of brought it back from the dark ages in 2004. I started working there a couple months later when I was 20. It was we were all ages for I think about a year. We were all ages because there was no law saying that we couldn't be because we only sold beer and not liquor. And an ALE agent came in. He'd been coming in for a while, and I think he just was sure we were up to something. But we weren't. I mean, like we did a lot of stupid stuff, but not like anything like, no criminal activity outside of just,
Sounds like a typical ALE agent.
Yeah, but so he came in and he was like, after several times of coming in and being just kind of annoyed by us, and he came in and said, "You can't have kids in here." And we were like, "There's no law that says we can't have kids in here." He was like, "I'm telling you can't have kids in here." And was like, "Well, no one walk around. No one's drinking underage. No, we're not breaking any law." And he went behind the bar and took our alcohol permit away. Like, just grabbed it off the wall and was like, "You're done." Whoa. And we would have been, because that's the only way that the bar, like the venue makes money is from the bar, at least at that time. And essentially now it's the same. And Neil got a lady on the phone at the ABC Commission in Raleigh who advised him and told him that he should just try to get a liquor permit because that would include beer, and that was the only way that he could do it. And she pushed it through, which is amazing. If you've ever dealt with alcohol permits, usually it takes an eternity for anything.
Oh yeah, the
very next day we had beer and liquor, and we went to 18 and up because we essentially had to be 18 and up anyway. Yeah. But we were all ages. We were all ages for a decent little bit there.
My 12-year-old daughter's waiting, and she can't wait until she's 18 to be able to go to Milestone. It's like, "Dad, you talk about the Milestone all the time. When can I go?" I'm like, "It'll be a while, kid."
Yeah.
I love that. You probably saw in the film, we met someone on his 18th birthday who was showing off his exes. Yeah. It's his first time in the Milestone.
Yeah, I think my daughter actually got embarrassed there, so I don't think she's been back. She was coming from the bar into the stage area and tripped and fell over the floor. So she's like, "I'm not going back in there."
I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say I threw her. I thought you were going to say I threw her out for drinking underage. I was like, "Tell her she come back. Just be sneakier next time."
I have brought friends who got hammered and fell on the band when they were playing, and they're like, "I'm embarrassed." I'm like, "Dude, it happens all the time." I fell on the band before when they were playing.
Yeah, you have.
I got pushed, but still,
Tell them to feel better. We've all, fallen on our faces, either in the mosh pit or not. At the Milestone, that's par for the course.
Yep.
Some of us have done way worse and more embarrassing things at the Milestone.
Yeah. Anything goes at the Milestone. Really. Honestly, I've seen some weird shit there, and I'm like, it's pretty. And I brought friends who are like, "Dude, what's going on over there?" I'm like, "Dude, don't worry about it, man. It's the Milestone, man. Anything goes." So, Jason, you've also won a few awards for NC Photographer of the Year, right?
Yeah, I worked in photojournalism at newspapers, some of which were in North Carolina, for about 6 years. And I loved working in newspapers and I loved journalism, but it just ended up not being my long-term plan. And I kind of fell in love with filmmaking. So, I still do photography and photojournalism, and that's definitely informed a lot of my style. But, I do, I serve a different corporate master now. Filmmaking is my day job.
Good. My wife's a big photographer, but it's that whole, pushing her out the door to go do something else and sell her pictures, and she won't do it. So I keep telling her, I'm like, if you want to do something else, make some extra money, find a hobby that you want to, make some money off of. You got to start somewhere. So yeah,
photography is hard to make money.
It is.
It's a tough job, yeah, for sure.
Ernest is a hell of a photographer too. So he takes a lot of pictures of bands that play the Milestone.
Awesome.
And he'll send them to him and post them and all that stuff. But yeah, he takes them. Yeah.
It's funny. I think about that a lot more now when I'm at concerts, because like the people that were at the Nirvana show and whoever snapped the picture, that's on the internet that people see at the time, when you're taking a picture of a band, you really don't know who that's going to be in 10, 20, or even 2 years. So
right. But who randomly had a camera when they were playing there? I mean,
I know.
Something you have in your pocket back then when the bands are playing.
Yeah, so. Everybody has a camera now.
Yeah.
And that's something we ran into the film. Some people say, oh, I wish it focused more on like history or had more visual elements. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, we have waded through people's storage units. They're like, I know I have the VHS tape from this, or even Jeff Clayton had a few hard drives that were corrupted. So some of the photos, he didn't have high res. So there's certainly some things that, we couldn't include simply because we didn't have a visual for it. And even though maybe it was documented, people just couldn't find it, or maybe it was destroyed or something like that.
I mean, that kind of doesn't surprise me, though, because I feel like the Milestone, even still to an extent, is like, people were wilding out a lot there. Like, I doubt they were, they were too concerned about documenting
taking pictures,
how wild of a time they were having, because it was always pretty under the radar, So
90, yeah,
right.
Yeah, even now, you go to a Live Nation concert, honestly, or a lot of places, and it's just a sea of phones, right, in the air.
It's a sea of phones
in front of you. And often at Milestone, I don't see that many out, even when it's a younger crowd. People are really in the moment there. It's like really a good place to be present.
Yep. Yeah, and you see people sometimes when they'll have their phone and like they'll just take like a little snippet and then they'll kind of like
I'll do
away, like
30-second video to post on our ImVibes storyline, and I'll just post that. I won't sit there all night. I've been at last time I saw Gojira at the Fillmore. He said, he said. Everyone put your phones away. He's like, just live in the moment. He's like, this is ridiculous. Because you're right. Everyone had their phone out. He's like, man, come on. You guys got to stop this shit, man. It's live in the moment. Enjoy the music. Yeah. But I do feel like that asshole when I had my phone out at the Milestone filming something. Or
I'm looking at you when you do it. I'm like, the band's right in front of me.
Fucking Guy Eric's over there taking a goddamn video.
I'm kidding. I take little snippets too.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the history of the Milestone. It's been open since, like Andy said, since 1969, way before I was born. Well, not that much earlier. Probably right around when Ernest was born, though.
It's actually older than I am.
Yeah, okay. And so many legendary bands have played there. Because what you talked about, Nirvana, Green Day, Black Flag, REM. One band that was in the documentary, Violent Femmes, that was cool that they came in and talked about it.
And, we weren't sure if they were going to really remember it. It's a long time ago. But they really, they had stories. They said they played there, multiple times over the course of a decade. And they just, really lit up about it. And independent music venues as a whole, that's really something that they, even though they played to much bigger audiences now, that's really a vibe that they cherish and, want to continue to have at concerts because they were so kind of avant-garde in that genre or the genre they made up, in that time. And really just, it was interesting to hear them talk about it.
I wish I was at that show. That's a band I've never seen yet. Last time I went to go see him, I got scammed out of $50 to go see him. I was like, I'm going to buy one of those Facebook tickets. Hey, I'm buying them. And then, the person vanished online. I'm like, God damn it.
They were
going to open for Ben
in Raleigh. And it was awesome. Like they just crushed it. They played their whole first album.
Oh, really?
What?
It was.
Front to back.
I was having more fun than anyone in the whole stadium. I'll tell you that.
Awesome.
And all the weird instruments, it's like a tuba attached to an accordion somehow and all that.
I played air xylophone for the whole Gone Daddy.
He knows the whole solo, like every single note. It's really quite funny.
I do that shit too. I don't care.
It's so fun.
When I'm at shows with my kids, they're like, "Dad, stop embarrassing us."
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not embarrassing anyone. I've seen, so many legendary shows there. Of course, I've seen Anti-Scene there a million times. Jeff Clayton's a good friend of our show.
We love
Agent
Jeff.
Orange. I think the most memorable show I've seen there, and this is a few years ago, was Off With Their Heads. One of my favorite bands, current favorite bands, and I'll never forget. They were up on stage and they were singing a song that I love, and I was up there. I was belting every damn word, and I got blasted from behind. Somebody came up and nailed me, and I landed on the lead singer. I forget his damn name, and he was like, "Dude,
Ryan."
All right.
His name's Ryan.
He's like, "Hey, dude, it's all right, man." I got up and they just kept playing, man. That was a great show. God, that was a fucking great show. And it was funny. What I loved about that show was that Off With Their Heads open for dollar signs. They're like, no, dollar signs. It's got a full band. We're just playing with two damn guys tonight. So, yeah, that was awesome. Which dollar signs is also going to be in the podcast just later on in the season.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, we love them.
Yeah, they are. So it took you guys, 4 years to make this documentary?
Yep. And yeah, we were really filming for probably like 2.5 or 3 years off and on.
Okay.
And then it took about a year to edit it.
So
It was
how
a
did you
beast too.
how did you go around and find everybody that were in
Say that again, Eric?
How did you go find everybody? How did you find connections to go find stuff? Let's say like Penny or anyone else like that. How did you? What did you have to go through to find connections? To get
I was just making demands, and Liz magically made it happen.
But I'll tell you, it's not, this is something I really value though about the Milestone. It's a protective community. And so, there's always a little skepticism, I think, of, someone, and I've been going to the Milestone for 10 years, just as a patron. But it wasn't the easiest thing to like pry things out of someone's hand or convince them to do interviews. I mean, even Buck, he's a sweetheart, but it took a lot of convincing. To like get him to do
I can imagine. I know. Yeah.
Neil told us that there was a curse.
I'm not saying anything about Buck. I love Buck.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when y'all were texting me, Buck hit me up and said something about I was living out in California at the time. I was like, who is it? I was like, I don't know him. I was like, I mean, you can tell him to text me. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do like a phone interview. And
the vetting I think was Buck just getting us drunk at the bar after we were done filming for the night, and then he was just kind of like,
be like, maybe they're all right.
See if we could hang.
Well, I think we had this conversation. Like it wasn't that I just like I was the Milestone is such like a huge part of my life that it wasn't until I moved back, it was like, I want to meet these people. Like, I don't want to talk on the phone about like something so that's so personal to me. I just thought to myself, like, I would want to like know you if I was going to talk to you in depth about a thing that I care a lot about. And, something about it. I was skeptical, but not that I thought y'all would do a bad job, but just that I didn't know you. And I was like, who are these people? Like, what, are they going to do this thing that I love very much? That's a huge part of who I am, Are they going to do it right? Like, I don't know. Do I want to talk to them on the phone about it? Like, I don't know. Once we met, once I moved back and we met.
Are you a lead agent? Are you a developer? You know what I mean? Like, I think people have been trying to take down the Milestone for a long time. And so that protective kind of thing has been around a long time. And that's because it's built on this really close-knit community. And that's what makes it so cool. But it did make it a challenge in the filmmaking process as far as access. And so many things were just scary. The whole reason we started this film was because there was a for sale sign out front. So Buck is like, going through the most tumultuous time of his life. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen day after day. And we were just planning to make a short film, like, something has to be documented before it's bulldozed. And then, of course, as the story just kept unfolding, more and more, and COVID and just so many things started happening, a new buyer. And, but even when Buck saw the film the first time, when he saw the trailer, he was like, oh my God, I'm so emotional. Like, this is like, I'm reliving trauma, right? Because there's just all this time. So I think, and just more screenings that we've done too, like people in the music community, it's hard. It was a shared trauma, COVID, or just seeing all these independent music venues close. And so I think that really resonates with the people who work at venues, who are artists, who are musicians, who are big fans of music. And that's a big part of their life, because there was a time when we couldn't have it. And that just reminds you to appreciate it a little more.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, a lot of the bands, every band that played the Milestone while we were filming that we asked to be in the film said yes. Every single band. Nice. And every band agreed to let us use their recordings of their show as the score of the film. So we're like, we couldn't be happier that
that's incredible.
Participate. And they trusted us. And even like Tim Casher from Cursive, when we interviewed him, when I met him, he was like, they told me we were doing an interview about a music venue in North Carolina. And I said, I hope it's the Milestone.
I love Cursive, man.
You can't make this up. Like, he remembers it.
You know what though? But they came back through afterwards, and they played the neighborhood theater. So.
Yep, they were playing Cat's Cradle the night we interviewed him. Sold out show.
Yeah.
But I saw Cursive at the Milestone, and my friend made out with him in the bathroom.
Oh, really? Okay.
She borrowed my pants without asking and got him to sign the pants.
Her friend made out with him.
I wish it was me. No. So my friend borrowed my pants.
We're not judging.
And then got him to sign them, and then was like mad at me that I wanted the pants back. It was a whole funny, thing. But of course, I was at the show, and I didn't have any pictures or anything of it. I was just in the moment, You
were in the moment, which is good. Yeah. That's a good thing. Yeah. I've been trying to find a bottle opener for like the past 5 minutes. I forgot to.
It's in your mouth, actually.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Trying to find something. I'm in my.
Nice.
Thanks, Ernest. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, let me grab that from you. It's all right. Anyways, I guess it's a bit.
I like these magnetic ones. Always handy.
Later. Yeah.
I'll take a sip of your report, Andy.
All right.
Thank you.
There we go. Yeah. How about some rum instead? I think actually last time I was at the Milestone, which is rare to have a very big bar tab when you're at the Milestone.
Right.
You have to put some work in.
Andy, I think, was the one who cashed me out that night, and I was like, how the hell did I have $135 damn tab at the Milestone?
You were buying drinks for other people.
I was like, oh shit, my wife's gonna be mad. I'm like,
if you drank $135 at the Milestone, you would not be walking out of there, and you would not be.
Yeah, I was like,
a liver transplant. Actually,
I was sad. That's on its way. I'm joking.
Hell, you'd be in trouble at like $35.
You'd be like the guy a couple nights ago that I tried to give a ride home, who was gonna do it. He's like in his 50s. He's going through a hard time, and then he turned to me out of nowhere and said, "You are the literal fucking devil. You are Satan sent here on earth to tempt me." And he was like, fuck you. And I was like, He only had one beer and one shot there, but obviously.
Yeah, he had a lot prior to it. Yeah.
There's something else going on there.
$135. If you drank that at the Milestone, you'd think everybody was the devil too.
I mean, I had brought my neighbor down there, Dave, years ago to see. It was the correct me if I say it wrong, Ernest. Mephistopheles show.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty damn close.
Yes, and
devil.
he stopped at the store down the block and bought some Mad Dog 2020.
Oh God!
He fucking drank that whole thing in the parking lot before we went inside, and he was hammered. I'm like, dude, it's fucking Tuesday. What are you doing, man? It's Tuesday. He's like, oh, we good
on a Tuesday.
Yeah, he felt like shit on Wednesday. I'll tell you that.
That's the kind of shit back in the 80s where the convenience shop guy would like, yeah, go ahead. I know you're underage, but you ain't going to drink again.
No. I mean,
hey, Mad Dog on any day, you're going to be hurting. Yeah.
Some of the first shows I saw at the Milestone, every time we'd go there, we stop at that gas station, which I don't think it's there anymore. I think they tore it down. We used to go in there and buy, a full pack of Paps, drink it in the parking lot, and then go in the Milestone and drink. And then they would drink. It was some of the early punk days that I met people like Pen 15 and a bunch of those guys that were in there, man, like Ryan Sullivan and Peanut and all those guys. They would go in there and just get hammered, and they spent $5 on drinking and have a whole night of entertainment. That wall where the door is now, my buddy Chris started tagging his name on that wall while the show was going on. Everyone's like, dude, you got to stop painting the wall, man. We're all getting high from the fumes. So we stopped. That paint's in there still, but now there's a door. But one thing that's really cool that's right next to that store is Bad Brains. And man, I wish I would have been at Milestone when Bad Brains played there. One of my favorite bands of all time, man. PMA right there. Yeah.
So
we get that attitude.
They tagged that wall while they were playing. Is that true?
And that used to be above the door when you were going in their bar. I think they moved it, right, Andy? I think.
I don't think so. It's been there since 2004. It's been in the same place. HR played there. HR played there a couple times, but he was there. He got there really early, and because we always kind of wondered if it was like if they had actually painted it, because some of the tags like are of bands that played there, but I know for a fact are not real because I know the person. I've talked to the people who were running it at the time, but HR was like, I remember writing that on the wall, and I was thinking like, yeah, I mean, okay, and then he said the date. He said the date. The month, the date, and the year that it was. And I went back and looked it up, and he remembered it. He remembered the month, day, and year that he played there and was like, okay, I believe you. But then later on, he also had a fake seizure while one of the opening bands was playing. And when everybody was trying to help him, and I rushed in to try to help him too, because I'd been talking to him all day, and he winked at me and then kept having a seizure and just let everybody think. And also after his show, somebody came up to me and was like, man, I was so excited to meet HR. I didn't realize he didn't speak English though. And I was like,
what a dick.
He was definitely just standing at the merch table and was like, no habla inglés.
Oh my gosh.
He was quite a character, which is why, I didn't take great stock in that when he said like, I remember painting that. Until he said the month, the day, and then I looked it up and was like, he remembers it very clearly, obviously. Like, I don't know how else you would, like, you wouldn't, that's not just information that I would remember.
Me either.
I did reach out a bunch of times to try to get an interview. And, it was kind of through a handler, manager kind of thing. And he was like, so I talked to him about it. And he says that he loves the Milestone, but also fuck you, no. It's like, okay.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. He was really lovely, like when no one was around. And then he was definitely, Yeah, he has his moments, and he definitely doesn't do things he doesn't want to do, which I respect.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw that he's touring with the Dead Kennedys, or what's the Dead Kennedys now? I know, it's not the Dead Kennedys that we all know, but he's playing a date with them in Washington, D.C., and I'm really thinking about going up for that show, man. I never saw the Dead Kennedys, even with anybody at all, so I might go to that show. Why not?
Is he like opening up with his solo stuff?
He's open, yes.
Okay.
He's opening for him, and that's the closest that they're coming. They're like, we're touring. I'm like, you're playing 5 dates. You're not really touring. That's five shows. I think one's in New York, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and Philly, and that's it. So, yeah.
A little mini run.
Yeah.
Kind of like System of a Down touring.
Yeah. So, I always ask people who are on the podcast, and I texted Liz this earlier, so I hope she's ready for this.
Oh boy.
I think I know what it is, and if she isn't, I can help.
Okay, all right. Andy, I didn't warn you before, so that's all right.
All right.
I need 3 of your guys' favorite cover songs.
So
it's quiet. I know. All right, go ahead.
I want to pose a riddle to Andy, actually.
Okay.
There are 3 cover songs in the film. Do you know all 3 of them?
Oh, there we go.
I know that someone covers REM.
1, Losing My Religion by Adult Mom.
That's actually like a recording of Nirvana. You just used a live one, wasn't it?
That was the live recording, yep.
That was a live recording.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Man, yeah, I'm racking my brain too, man.
Credits is one clue.
What?
In the credits.
In the credits. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. It's Should I Stay or Should I Go? Isn't that?
That's 2.
Okay. Oh, man.
Should I stay or should I go?
Was that one?
The other one is a deeper cut.
What's that?
And it's during Jonathan's scene.
I can't remember what it is, but I know. Yeah, I know that that's I can't remember what song it is.
Mazzy Star, Fade Into You.
Mazzy Star, yeah.
Covered.
Fade Into
So
You.
those
Yeah.
are the Easter egg cover. Well, one's really an Easter egg cover song in the film.
Man, that's awesome. That's something, you got to go and see the film. I know you guys have a showing, next Tuesday night at the Neighborhood Theater?
This Sunday, this February 2nd.
Oh, okay. Damn, I thought it was.
Groundhog Day.
Oh, hey, actually, there's another cover because y'all used one of a song that I did that was a cover.
Oh, here we go.
Who's getting stumped now?
You might have used two songs that from that record, Even When the Cat Comes, which this are all covers.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. You use my cover of a Bo White song.
okay.
Called Taxidermy, and it's
Taxidermy is in there.
Yeah.
and that's that song. Bo let me cover it. I remember him playing it live years ago at the Milestone, and I asked him if I could cover it, and he was like, "Yeah, I've never put it out."
Oh my gosh!
Oh, wow.
So my version of it is the only released version of
one. Then because we used a Hollow Point playing an As I Lay Dying cover. There's probably even more.
It's probably more. Yeah.
He starts out with 3. There's actually 7.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention 3, but man, I'm not even going to now. That's awesome. You guys knocked it out of the park. You also have to have a showing in Greenville, South Carolina, at the Radio Room. Did I see that right?
Yep, that's right. That is March 17th, I believe. It's also a Sunday.
Wait, is that?
I'll double check here. But the March one, sorry, that is UNC Charlotte's also doing a showing. And get this, we've been having some more academic interest. So the Southern Sociological Conference.
You're right. I used my teeth. Sorry.
They're gonna do that too. Gonna do a showing too. So that's been cool to see. Like, March 23rd. It's a Sunday. That's the Radio Room show.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, is there somewhere where people can see your scheduled showings?
Yeah, just link in our bio, right? On Instagram and howtosaveamilestone.com. We actually built a website. It's got the trailer in there. It's got like press, a little info, and all the screenings and ticket links and stuff. So,
nice.
Yeah, we're kind of proud to get that done and have, just sort of a digital landing page for all of it. And then when it goes on streaming at some point, we'll have those, where you can find it there too. But this Sunday is going to be awesome. We're talking like 300 people is what we're expecting. A neighborhood.
Oh,
so,
wow.
And that's like a theater. That's like, that's what it was prior to being a music venue. So yeah.
Yeah, and after party at the Milestone.
Yeah, and that's another venue here in town that if you have a chance to go see a show, definitely go check out the neighborhood theater. It's in Noda. Again, great prices if you want to go drink and have some, hang out. There's an upper place you can go. There's an upper balcony, lower area you can go and drink. There's VIP. That's a cool spot to go see shows.
It's a nice venue, and they get some of the bigger names that come through Charlotte.
Yeah, I think the last show I saw there was the Chats. That was a fun show. So sold out.
Nice.
One of those weird nights where I don't get hammered too often, but I don't know what I did that night, but I had a few drinks and my buddy had to drive home. So
actually,
thanks,
this
Brent.
is kind of funny. Neighborhood theater story. Jason and I started dating, maybe 10 years ago, and we were at a Day to Remember show.
No, it was 4 Years Strong.
Or 4 Years Strong, yes. We were at 4 Years Strong. And then I crowd surfed to the front and then, jumped on stage and whatever.
Wait, you crowd surf?
Crowd surfed
and then
drove
I
off
did a
the
stage dive back into the crowd. And Jason told me later that he was like, yep, she's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, locked it down after that.
Yeah.
That's how I knew my wife was going to be my wife. We were at a 7-day show at Tremont.
Yeah,
I was like, hold on, I'm going in the pit, and then I'm in there moshing. I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's my wife. She's like, "Well, you're in there. I'm in here too." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's go."
Maybe she's the one that sucker punched you with that. That shit at the Milestone.
Maybe no. She was not there that night. No, she doesn't.
That's awesome.
She no longer goes to those shows with me anymore. But she used to. The first night I ever took her on was actually a date at the Tremont. We went there after work when we both worked at Media Play. Les and Jake was playing. And they do a cover of "I Think I Love You." And I yelled out, I said, "I think I love you." And she's like, "What?" I said, No. It's a song. It's a song.
Wait, you already said it.
Turns out
she's like, too soon.
Yeah, it turns out I actually did love her and I married her. Yeah. So,
Nice.
25 years later. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's also a line from a Sebadoh song. I don't know if you remember that band.
Seven Dust?
I remember
Sebadoh.
Who?
Sebadoh. It's Lou Barlow.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Okay,
kind
yeah,
of Fabio, but I don't know.
yeah. See, you're much of a music nerd as I am, and I'm sure Andy is
I
too.
am. I'm thoroughbred.
Oh, I am.
Here.
Yeah.
This whole room is vinyl. So I've been. I told myself I'm going to play every single record that I have.
Awesome.
I started in June, and I have all my shit in like genres. It's all alphabetized. I just finished punk today. Actually, when I was starting this, I was going through all my various artists: punk, moving on to ska, and then pop, and then I'm done. But it's taken me almost 9 months to get through every fucking record that I have.
Nice.
Impressive.
I love that you're going through that too. That's great.
I was like, man, I have so much shit. I'm like, I don't listen to it. I'm like, let me figure out what I have and what I don't have. So
Yeah.
I got a bunch of shit. Yeah. But I keep buying shit every day.
You're like, this is also a moving target.
Right. My kids are like, Dad, most of the mail we get, it's all records, right? Yeah, I know. But I'm also a mobile DJ, so not to plug ourselves, but I'm DJing at Red Clay on the 22nd for the Rumble Crumble, which I do all vinyl.
Nice.
And I'm also DJing at Tommy's Pub for the
22nd of
cook-off. February.
There you go.
February 22nd at Red Clay, and February 23rd at Tommy's Pub for the chili cook-off. And that'll be all punk.
Are you going to compete in the chili cook-off too?
I always do. Absolutely. I am a chili champion. I've won 3 championships with my chili.
I had a feeling you would be. I don't know why.
Yeah. I'm that guy. Yeah.
Next podcast is going to be a chili podcast.
We have hosted the chili cook-off twice at Tommy's. So
Nice.
Yeah. I always end up with a bunch of extra chili because I always make 5 gallons of chili. And no one eats that much chili in a day, so I end up eating chili for a week and everything you could possibly think of. But anyways, yeah.
Nice.
So everyone's having soup parties, because it's winter. And the hack is to have a muffin tin, because then you can try everyone's soup, like a little
Oh, yeah.
all of it, and it's all in one plate. So I'm excited. We're going to have a Super Bowl, but it's just everyone bringing soup.
Oh, nice.
Man, hold on. Detroit Lions fan.
There you go.
Man, I can't even watch football right now. I can't. I was
Too stressed.
Why am I laughing?
I was telling Ernest earlier that when we lost against Washington, you'd have thought my mom died or something, man. I was walking around the house so bummed out. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me. It's over. Like all that work that we did it's over, man. It sucks. And then we get to see
our Super Bowl, Eric.
Our soup Bowl.
I know. Well, enjoy your soup. I'm probably not even.
That's why I like music, because nobody wins and nobody loses.
Everyone
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's far less disappointment.
Yeah.
Well,
see, Andy, I don't know if you know the story about the Lions. Like, we've lost for the past 50 fucking years. So now we had a winning season.
All right.
Hey, you do have 4 championships, though.
2 from the 30s and then 2 from the past 2 years. Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and also I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. If you have a chance to go to the Milestone, man, they have every type of show you can possibly think of there. Go online, that milestoneclub.com. You name it, man. Everyone plays there. Excellent bar staff. Excellent. The guys at the I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Boggle Oaf is the house band for the Milestone.
Hey, just to throw it out there, not to also plug something, on March the 7th, I believe, we're having an employee appreciation show, and all the bands are people who work there.
Ooh. Cool.
I'm doing an acoustic set. Boglo's playing, Appaloosa's playing.
I've actually never seen you play live.
Well, this isn't what I know. This is like what I did a long time ago. Like, I'm just be playing some songs on a guitar. It's not the
okay. All right.
It's not this sort of. It's not this sort of thing.
Not the beer behind you. Yeah.
But it'll be a nice evening.
If everyone's playing, can me and Liz bartend that night then?
Yeah, if everyone's
let the table.
Free drinks for everybody.
I think Carl is, because I think Carl might be the only person who works there who does not perform in one way or another.
Poor Carl. He's the only one that can't get drunk that night.
Yeah, you can.
And cut.
Well, I also want to say, because I don't know if you did an intro for Andy, but he's just an amazing performance artist and also has a big role in the film, and just so eloquently talks about gentrification and the meaning of the space, and just really powerful poet, really. And we did a really special screening in Raleigh, sold out, packed crowd, where he performed afterwards. And
really?
Oh, nice.
And it was so cool. And we're actually planning a kind of run of shows. We want to play different independent music venues, across the country or across the Southeast, and pair it with shows with Andy. And really the call to action, I think, with the film and with these, wanting to, because everyone always asks, when's it going to be on streaming? When's it going to be on streaming? But really our call to action with the film is to get people to get in the doors of the Milestone and spaces like it. So other independent music venues in Charlotte, or the Milestone in other cities and other states. Because, again, once these places close, they're gone forever. And there is nothing like going in a place. And like you said, oh, I saw this band here forever ago. My first date was here. There's just really an energy in a place when it's been there for a long time, and a community behind it that's just really special. And that's really our point in making the movie and what we want to see out of it. So that's the goal, and we'll eventually put it on streaming, but that's the goal first, is to get people to have IRL, experiences.
Yeah.
Screening so far has been that. It's been really cool.
That's awesome.
Are there any shows going to be up in Asheville anytime soon? I mean, like the Rabbit Room, or was it Rabbit, or any of those places?
Well, if anyone knows of a place in Asheville that would like to host us, we would love that. We want to do
Orange Peel.
Yeah, we're trying to reach out to Great Eagle.
Yeah. Well, they're a Live Nation venue now, so
yeah, so is Neighborhood Theater.
Yeah.
Well, no, Neighborhoods actually is not Live Nation. They are owned by a small team of investors that also own a few other venues, but it's not Live Nation. So I just want to say that it's not necessarily owner independent, though.
I know they're on Live Nation's venue list.
Maybe it's some affiliate, because I played a festival at the Orange Peel a couple weekends ago, and there was no Live Nation like paperwork or anything. Like,
okay, good.
Well, sorry, I was talking about Neighborhood. Yeah, Orange Peel, I think is But even I think sometimes their venues are listed because they have like an affiliate agreement, but they're not like owned or run by.
Okay, gotcha.
Live Nation. So, because I thought somebody was saying that they thought Neighborhood was too, and I was like, it might not.
They just might use Live.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they might.
Yeah.
Be. This is a great thing we'll talk about at the panel at Neighborhood.
Yes, we will.
There's going to be, after the film, there's going to be local venue owners. I think Snug Harbor and, a newer venue on the west side, and Music Everywhere Charlotte will be part of the conversation too. And Buck, of course, talking about the Milestone. So really talking about how people can support and uplift these venues and their challenges. And, so we're hoping to get some good audience questions, have a good panel discussion there.
Awesome.
I'm glad to see there's such a great response to the Milestone all over the state, and I guess going into South Carolina as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're just so excited about how people are stoked on the Milestone and the film. And one thing that we've noticed consistently, just from showing it to our friends and people that randomly show up at the screenings afterwards, people watch the movie and they want to go. Like, we had a friend that even went the next weekend from Raleigh.
Planned a trip.
Just to go.
Nice.
He was like, I have to
really?
Go.
I meet so many people there that are like, I drove here from Atlanta, Georgia, or I drove here from Washington, D.C. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I really loved seeing, like, when we did the showing at King's, like, just on their little Instagram stories, like, and talking to them afterwards. Like, I liked how it seemed like the people involved at King's were reflecting on their space a bit. They were getting kind of sentimental about their space because of the thing. And it's like, that's the beautiful thing about it, which is why, I'm was so stoked about that and would want to do, I'm stoked about doing more things like that because, like y'all said, like, it's a celebration of the Milestone, but I think even if you didn't know what the Milestone was, you'd watch it and you would, if you've been running those types of circles, or if things like that, anything similar that's kind of underground and fringe has been like, is like a community type of space, has affected your life in any way, like it gets to you. And Yeah. I mean, I hope that it seemed like it did it at King's. Like I love seeing how it seemed like it made people, it lit a new fire in people about their own community. Like, yeah, we also have something special. It's like, yeah, everywhere does. Yeah. But that's the thing. You have to maintain, you have to like stoke the flame or it goes out. Yep. Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
Long live independent forms of expression and art and culture. Like that's where the magic happens. And pretty much I think, talking about the Milestone and like these bands that have like gotten big or whatever, it's that's kind of the crux of places like that. And like these like independent underground scenes that happen, and like whether it's a space that they happen around or bands that they happen around, pretty much everything that wasn't manufactured by a record label to sell, like constructed to sell, pretty much every form of American music since recordings, the records started to come out, were things like that have influenced what we think about as like popular music and like American culture, like by and large, like all these different forms of music and all this groundbreaking stuff. And all of that started in small independent underground communities early on, like in mostly poor communities. But like spaces like this are how that stuff happens. It doesn't, I mean, I won't knock like the bigger venues because they serve they have a place. Like you were talking about Cursive, like of course they play the bigger place. Like they can sell 1,000 tickets or whatever. Like it would be silly for them to play the Milestone, but like all these wonderful things that end up going on to like change the world as we know it, like musically, don't start in places like that. They end up in places like that, they start in places. Right, yeah. They start in the places where like you feel a sense of community and like you don't think to take your phone out because you're way too having like a good time and wilding out, and like people feel like they can experiment and try things. And I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but
most bands get started in a place like the Milestone.
It would be cool to see Cursive play like a big arena downtown and say, "Hey man, we used to play the Milestone. We used to be here in town, man. That'd be cool."
Well, bands have done that, like not like a year or two ago. Baroness, who used to come, they were from.
And they actually played the Milestone. Yeah,
they did like a small venue tour where it was like a expensive ticket, but everybody got to put in requests and they played it. And like I remember those guys coming through. I met those guys at the Crayola House, I think, in Harrisonburg, which is like a famous house venue that just finally closed, but they were on the dirt circuit like the rest of us, and it just so happens that they play really big places now, and good for them. They're a great band, but and like bands like the Violent Femmes, like it doesn't surprise me it wouldn't surprise me if someone, after years and years of playing tons and tons of places and went on to be playing stadiums, didn't remember a place like, it was just a place that we played. But it also definitely does not surprise me that a band like the Violent Femmes or these people are like this. And the one guy from the Violent Femmes says it in the movie, like, if it weren't for places like that, like we owe a debt of gratitude to these places, because they know they spoke on that and they remember it, that they would not have been able to hone what they did and to figure themselves out and to experiment and to try this weird thing that went on to become very popular if there weren't places where they could do that were supportive of it, that were like, yeah, do what you want, be yourself. Like, that's what we're here for. I mean, I've seen so many bands at the Milestone working there for years and years and years, and I'm pretty picky. I wouldn't say, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's not my thing, but I'm always glad to see people doing it. When I can tell that they love what they're doing, it's like, I'm here for it. Like, I'm here. Like, I want you to do this. even if it's like not a thing I would put on a record, it's like, this is why we're here. This is why we're here to watch, to like support each other, being our weird and wild and wonderful selves, and to watch each other fail and succeed and try new things, and to support each other and like make each other, to remember that like that's enough. Like, even if this doesn't go anywhere in like the real world, like a monetary value, like the moments that you have in places like that cannot be like, yes, there's a cover charge, but you can't really put a price on moments like that. It's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jason, Liz, y'all did such a wonderful job. I know I've told you several times, but nice to say it on record. I've seen it like 5 times and I still cry every time.
I laughed. I cried. I
thank you.
Goosebumps during the movie and during the documentary. It really hits home for a lot of people.
I cried the last time we watched it because Penny was crying. It's like,
but I mean,
that's what got me crying was Penny crying. I'm like, oh,
but
man.
but y'all did a really good job, and like just to say on the record, like, thank you for making something about a thing that I care so much about, that does a very great job of encapsulating why I care about it. Like, that's a selfish thing for me to say, but
no, it's not.
But I appreciate that very much, and y'all did an amazing job, and I'm so thankful. So thankful to know y'all, and so thankful that you took the time to do it.
Documentary, yes.
Thank you, guys. You came from the heart. The film did, and we connected with so many people, and this was like the coolest thing I've ever done. So I hope people watch it. I hope people support live music. Long live the Milestone. You guys rule for having us. Andy's the shit.
I love Andy, man.
Hey, now don't call me. Don't be talking shit about me.
I have to give a shout out to your protege, Doob.
I love Doob with all my heart. Doob's asleep in his car right out in my driveway right now. Hell yeah. I'd let him sleep in here, but I don't have a couch. I don't have any furniture. I only have a bed in the recording room. And this guy, he takes up a lot of.
Big Spoon, your little guy right there.
I'm in the one place to sit that there is in my house that's not my bed. It's an office chair. So
yeah.
But yeah, dude, he's. Yeah, I love old dude. I remember when he first came to Milestone, he was not 21, and I looked at him and I was like, "You from Waxhaw?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do not fuck up in here." He's one of my best friends in the world. I love him.
Man, I'll never forget. I was that Doom concert they did over the summer, and they were playing. And dude, he was so fucked up, and he was playing this song. He goes, I really fucked that one up. And he just came out and kept playing it. Nobody else knew. Nobody in the world knew except for him that he fucked that song up. But he kept rolling, dude. I love.
That when he opened for DRI.
I love dude. No. They played that summer solstice.
Seismic Summer.
Seismic Summer.
I was there for that.
That shit was hilarious. Yeah. I love Dupe. Anyways, I love Dupe. I love the Milestone. I love Andy. I love Buck. Even though Buck, I'm gonna get you one of these days, man.
Buck's also is my neighbor, and Neil, who started the reopened or like brought it back from the dark days. Yeah, lives in an RV behind my house. I'm renting from him. So there's a whole compound here of the Milestone crew people.
So all the door bums are there.
Yeah.
Past, present, and future door bums.
That's true.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for making the documentary. Thank you for the Milestone. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you for all of our listeners. And adios.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to ImVibes Podcast, home of good music, good libations, and good vibes. Please like, rate, and subscribe to ImVibes Podcast on your favorite listening platform. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All are at ImVibes Podcast. ImVibes Podcast is in need of sponsorship. If you'd be interested in sponsoring the show or just an episode, email us at imvibespodcast@gmail.com for more details. Email us at imvibespodcast@gmail.com if you'd like to be a guest or have an idea for a guest we should interview.
Opinions and views expressed by guests are not necessarily the opinions or views of the ImVibes team or BWM Productions.